Angie. So today I'm going to be talking about my recent trip to Walt Disney World. It was my first time going to Disney, so I basically was a giant little kid. I'm pretty sure you know, because most people do, but if not, I am obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. Like, if we look around my bedroom right now, there's Winnie the Pooh everywhere. So going to Disney and getting to see all this Winnie the Pooh involved things made my life. Like, I did not want to leave. I actually cried when I left. And I was depressed for 2 days after I got back. Anyways, so I was gone from January 7th to January 11th. My flight to Florida was at 5:45 in the morning. And that meant I had to leave my house at 3:30 in the morning to get there. Actually, at 2:30 in the morning to get there by 3:30 to make sure I was on my plane in time. I flew out of Midway, and even though I live in Schaumburg and it's a bit of a hike, we decided to fly out of Midway because Southwest tickets were only like $150 round trip, which is pretty cheap, especially to go to Disney, and especially considering I am a broke college kid. So the night before the morning we had to leave on the plane, because the whole reason I went to Disney was to visit my best friend Hannah, who used to go to Columbia, but now she's working at Disney as part of the college program. So me, our friend Ronnie, and Ronnie's boyfriend Matt, we all went down to go visit Hannah. Matt and Ronnie met each other through Hannah, so that's how we all ended up going together. Our flight was at 5:45 in the morning, so I had to leave Schaumburg by 2:30, which meant, so I had to leave here by 2:30 in the morning, and I didn't go to bed till about midnight that night. And I was so excited I couldn't sleep. And I had woken up at about 11 o'clock the day before I left. So by the time we got to Florida and we landed, I think it was about 8 o'clock their time. By the time we had landed in Florida, I was exhausted. I had been up for almost 24 hours straight. I was only able to sleep about 30 minutes on the flight because it was only about a 2-hour flight. So we arrived around 8:30, 9 o'clock, Florida time. So after we got off the plane, Disney's Magical Express took us to our hotel. We stayed at Caribbean Beach, which was beautiful. The pool was closed, which was kind of a bummer, but the weekend we went ended up being one of the coldest weekends in Florida for some reason, which kind of sucked because I wanted to wear shorts all weekend, but that was okay. So after we dropped off our bags and everything, the first place we went was Animal Kingdom, and we got to go see Finding Nemo the musical, which was beautifully done. But my favorite part of that was they had their interpreters there. This is something not a lot of people know currently, but after college, I would like to do the Disney College program and then see if, because I will have my degree in interpreting, see if I can audition to be an interpreter for Disney, which I think would be really cool. Now, Prom, personally, I'm not sure about other deaf consumers or other interpreters, but Prom thinks that Disney interpreting is a little too animated, which I understand because it is very animated. The interpreters are kind of doing little dances along with the cast. But considering their consumer, which is Disney guest, and Disney wants it to be more animated, I think it's appropriate in this situation because of the fact that's what's expected out of Disney. So I was watching the interpreters with Glee. It was great to see them. It made me quite happy. After Finding Dory, we just walked around Animal Kingdom. We went on a safari, which was fun. And then we ended up having to go back to our hotel room and finally getting into our room because we had not been in our room before that. And we walk in to find out it's a pirate theme. It was so cool. Our beds were ships. It was amazing. After that, we changed and got all fancy and went to Animal Kingdom Lodge for dinner and had a buffet. It was amazing. I ate so much food that night. After the buffet, we ended up going back to the hotel room and going to sleep. So then the next day was the day I was extremely excited about. After I lied, because after we went back to the hotel room, we didn't have to go to dinner for like 2 or 3 hours, so we went to Hollywood Studios, which was awesome. I went on the rock and roller coaster, was scared out of my mind, but I got through it and wanted to go on it again. The one I didn't go on was Tower of Terror. I actually ended up crying, so my goal is to go on it next time I go to Disney. But going back to the next day, in the morning we woke up and went back to Animal Kingdom to finish all the rides we didn't get to go on. So we went to Dino Land and went on Dinosaur, which was really fun. I love dinosaurs, so it was great for me. Then we went on Mount Everest, which I was scared about and had nothing to be scared about. The ride was so much fun. It was great. I'm afraid of big drops in the roller coaster, so I was terrified basically the whole time that there was going to be a giant drop. There wasn't. I was fine. And it's in the dark, so the drop doesn't scare you at all. Then after that, we went to Magic Kingdom, which is where we had a fast pass to go on the Winnie the Pooh ride, and I literally freaked out. Good freak out, of course. I literally cried. I was so happy. I was crying and so excited. And then we went in and everything was adorable, and I freaked out even more. And then after that, we had some other fast passes. So we went on Ariel's ride. We went on the Haunted Mansion. We got to go on Space Mountain, which was awesome. I can't wait to go back on Space Mountain, all the lights and everything. It was great. And then I finally got to go meet Winnie the Pooh. I'm sorry. Winnie the Pooh was like the best part of the trip for me. I took a bunch of pictures. You can see me just smiling from ear to ear. I looked like a giant child. I even had the Winnie the Pooh Mickey Mouse ears. I have pictures. It was amazing. After that, we went on a few more rides. And then we saw the fireworks show. And Magic Kingdom closed a little early that night, so we ended up not really getting to do as much as we had planned, but that's okay. Then the next day we went to Universal Studios, which was really fun, except it costs almost $200 to get in, and I think I rode 5 rides, which is not a lot, especially to pay almost $200. We spent a lot of time in Harry Potter World, which is great. It's so creative and interactive and beautiful, but as I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, it wasn't my thing. So the rides were fun. They were very realistic. They used screen simulation, so you felt like you were in Harry Potter, which was really cool. And they had multiple rides like that, which was awesome. I went on the Transformers ride like 3 times because it was that awesome. But Universal closed early, so we were out of there by 8. So it was a lot of money to spend so little time there. And then the last day that Ronnie and Matt were there, because I left the day after them, we went to Epcot. And that was awesome. We got to go on ride, this one ride called Soarin', which basically you're hang gliding all over the world, and Disney makes it look so real that I was literally scared that I was over the Eiffel Tower knowing I was maybe 20 feet in the air. Disney also does it where they bring the smells of the place you're traveling into your nose, and it smelled like Africa when we were flying over Africa. It was amazing. But Ronnie and Matt had to leave early that day, so we kind of had to cut our trip to Epcot a little short. And then after Ronnie and Matt left, me and Hannah went back to Magic Kingdom and went on Big Thunder Mountain roller coaster and got Dole Whips, which is Dole pineapple ice cream, and it was amazing. And then after we went to Magic Kingdom, after Magic Kingdom closed, we went to Disney Springs, which is like their shopping district. And I finished up buying my last souvenirs and then went back to the hotel to pack. And then I left at like 7:30 the next morning, and I basically wanted to cry the whole way home. And then I arrived home and was depressed for 2 days because that's how much I love Disney. honestly, I cannot wait to go back. When you said you are going to Disney in March, I freaked out for you because you and Riley and your family are going to have an amazing time. But yeah, basically that's it. Disney was great. I loved it. I have lots of pictures. I will talk about it endlessly if anyone asks. Okay. Thanks, Angie. I'll see you soon.
Okay.